And their opposition, the Golden Oldies, Wannabes, the Love Gurus themselves, Joe Saffron Healy, TJ Irwis Mars, and Matt Cupid O'Keefe. Now, these gentlemen have been in the shadows of this hotel having a few tete-a-tetes, and they've assured me that they're going to play very fairly, and there's going to be no undercutting and no mean punches, especially Matt. On the way into the rebel county, he has to behave himself.
I promise.
So without further ado, to open this evening's debate, we're going to have a 3-minute speech. I'm going to give him a 2-minute warning. Call on Pluto himself to get us going.
Romantic Ireland is dead and gone. It's with O'Leary in the grave. The opening lines of the poem called September 1913 by a little known poet called W.B. Yeats from Sligo. Ladies and gentlemen, I will focus upon this poem where Yeats' passion for politics and in particular his love for Ireland, Irishness and all things national. However, I will not, but instead focus on the true meaning of a romantic Ireland and show you all in no uncertain terms that it is truly dead and buried. I would like to introduce you to my teammates tonight. Our next speaker is a somewhat shy and reserved young man who married his darling Marie nearly 3 years ago. Now this is the same Marie who is the current rally chair, which will no doubt lead to us getting bonus points for his contribution. Now James' argument will be based upon the whole role that social media has played in their lives, where we seem to be swiping left and swiping left, and the whole area of where we focus upon the saints and scholars and how our past is certainly in the past. And our final speaker is a gentleman who lacks a lot of confidence. Rarely, if ever, speaks in public, and just because Michael is married to tonight's chair should clearly be seen as a major advantage to the opposition. And in fact, I would go so far as to say that Catherine would take great comfort and solace in tonight's proposition being well and truly schooled and learned and humiliated by her colleagues across the table. Michael will focus on, well, that's a secret, but Michael doesn't know yet what he's going to focus on. Now, our good friends in the opposition, ladies and gentlemen, are going to try to convince you that romance is alive in Ireland. They will try to confuse you with fake news, and indeed will probably refer to this great institution and all that it has achieved. But ladies and gentlemen, do not be fooled by their contributions. Remember, you cannot make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. I want to spend the next few moments proving to you all that romantic Ireland is dead and gone, and it's therefore important to define tonight's motion correctly. And according to the Oxford English Dictionary, tonight's motion can be quite simply defined as that romantic Ireland is dead and gone. You see, ladies and gentlemen, there is no ambiguity around tonight's motion. Indeed, like the opposition, it is quite simple and straightforward. Now, I want to bring you back in time on a journey and show you the real romantic Ireland. And you will be left in no doubt that this motion must be carried. And I think what better way to start by giving you an example that captures romantic Ireland. Ireland could have been seen on the TV screens and cinemas in the past. We were happy to have just 2 TV channels. And when you went to the cinema, there was always a clamour for the double seat in the back row. Who here remembers those classics? The Field, The Snapper, The Commitments, and legendary TV shows such as Glenroe, thank you Chair, such as Glenroe, Live at 3, School Around the Corner, and Bosco. And what do we all have to show for in 2019? Hundreds of channels with nothing on. Classics like Fair City, Peppa Pig, and Mrs. Brown's Boys. Is this really what the men of 1916 fought for? Chairman, I'm nearly finished. Let's move into a different area.
seconds for the opposition. Mr. Saccharin himself, Joe Healy.
Thank you. Pity someone didn't tell.
Turn the mic up.
Didn't tell Alan.
Hello? Now, it's when the orange light goes on, this goes on, you have to start that again. Pity someone didn't tell Alan, first of all, that the clocks went back last night, Alan, and secondly, explained or told you the proper motion that we were supposed to debate here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here tonight debating this motion. Romantic Ireland is dead and gone, and we're delighted here on the opposition to be opposing that, because contrary to what the motion says, Romantic Ireland is very much alive and well, and nowhere more so than in this very hotel this very weekend.
Let there be no
doubt, let there be no doubt about that, because you know, I'm looking around at you here, and I even see Richard Kennedy there, and remember back to his own rally days 5 or 6 years ago, and you know, let no one of you pretend to any of us that you're here for the stock judging. I know you're interested in judging, all right. It's not beef or sheep you're interested in judging. And the Know Your Rag quiz is more like get to know your man or your man. It definitely isn't Know Your Rag. So, and on the farm walks, you know, in our time you were more interested, as Dire Straits used to say, the walk of life, and that usually took place any time between about 3 o'clock in the morning and 10 o'clock the following morning. And you just hoped that it was good. But anyway, look, and how do we remember that so well? Because like there's only so much that society or Macra can change in 1 decade, 2 decades, or 3 decades, you know? So we have the memories, they're still very clear. Actually, there's some of them maybe even a bit too clear, but very quickly I introduced my team, and we decided to speak going from the youngest up, because the oldest would have the most experience, and we left it to them. But we have a very inclusive team, and got so close after 12 intense nights of practicing for this debate here tonight. I'm Joe Healy from Galway, home of the All-Ireland Camogie champions. TJ is from Tipperary, home of the All-Ireland Hurling champions, and Matt is from Kilkenny, home of, well, Matt and his family, and a good few more people live there as well. So when it came to defining the topic, you know, Alan is still going back to the Oxford English Dictionary. We have Google in Galway, you know. But I decided, why Google or why go to Oxford when you had the most romantic person going to be here tonight? On my team. Sorry, TJ. It had to be Matt. So I rang Matt anyways, and look, I wouldn't do it justice to try and explain the eloquence of his explanation, so he might do that later on. Suffice to say that romantic is characterized by the expression of love. And that's all we need to know. Let's leave that bit where it is now for a few seconds. And there's no one or no country better at expressing their love than Ireland. Should we love everyone and every place? Like we love the Queen, and we love Cork, and we love our music, and even, look, ladies and gentlemen, when it came to Love Ireland, Catherine, you watched Love Island every night. Susanna told me that an Irish person, Greg, and his closest companion or competition was another Irish person, Maher. So I rest my case.
Now that Joseph is drawing his breath eventually, after running slightly over. Mr. Mars, Mr. Healy, would you like to take over?
Medicine, I didn't even read my own writing. Medicine, business, law, engineering. These are noble pursuits necessary to sustain life. But love, poetry and romance, these are what we stay alive for. Madam Chair, members of the opposition, fellow Macra members, ladies and gentlemen, it is with a heavy heart that I felt I had to come here tonight with Alan and Michael and second the motion that romantic Ireland is dead and gone. And just before I go any further, Joe said he went to Matt, but I'd like to ask Margaret, Barbara and Rita, what is the most romantic thing those three boys over there have done for you in the last 40 years?
You've only got 2 minutes.
No, the reason I felt I had to come here tonight is because Joe mentioned this room and this event. I looked out on the dance floor last night and I didn't see much poetry being used by the young gentlemen trying to woo the objects of their affections. Now, Ireland is known as the land of saints and scholars, and we've been producing great literary heavyweights for decades, for centuries. Beckett to Boland, Kavanagh to Healy, the monks, but in particular, the inspiration behind tonight's motion, William Butler Yeats. But what is it all for now? Arts and culture have taken a back seat to Love Island. Jesus, the reason Catherine was watching it was because he was out at the cattle. Do you think that's romance, is it? And how are people connecting these days? People are connecting through the phone. So whether it's, and it's no longer, wooing a lady, plucking up the courage to ask her out, taking that lead so that you can take her courting, and that doing a line means a completely different thing these days. But nowadays, it's giving her a poke on Facebook, and on Tinder. It's swiping right as often as you can, swipe them all, and eventually one will stick. Or so I'm told. Because look, no, because of all people, I certainly wasn't reciting poetry when I made what was definitely one of the least romantic marriage proposals on record, but for my own safety, she's only down there, that's where that story is going to end. But, look lads, romantic, as old as you are, romantic Ireland is dead since 1913, and unless it's come out of the grave like a zombie, and whatever sort of zombie romance you have over there, I think there's only one thing we can say tonight, and that's that romantic Ireland is dead and gone.
Next for the opposition. Mr. Maher, you ready?
Madam Chairperson, pleasure to stand before you to oppose the sad notion that all of you just appeared here without a notion of romance in your body. Now, I would dare say if we were here last night, there was a little bit more romance as well, but a little bit more activity. And just for James's information, James, it's always been my view in Macra that dance is the rhythm of romance. Poetry might have worked in Yeats' time, but I suspect last night there was a little bit more rhythm. And hopefully as the night progressed, it continues. As an organisation, I'm sure you'd all agree, and as we mark the 75th anniversary, the notion of Macra was built on the very basis of romance. That a group of young men, as it was at the time unfortunately, were going to work, travel and learn together, but they quickly discovered, without the women, they were on a road to nowhere. And 75 years later, with much romance, I'm sure you'd all agree you have been a wonderful success, because you certainly multiplied. And there was a brief comment there earlier from our opposition that Michael wasn't sure of where his focus was. But I have to say, Michael, I have to admire your focus, because after all, I thought you did a wonderful job bringing our chairperson to your love nest in Tipperary, and I congratulate you on your occasion, bringing us back to Tipperary. A wonderful opportunity, and wonderfully well done. And, ladies and gentlemen, as a country, we sometimes underestimate the value of our organisations, not just Maher, but take the GA, for instance, up and down this country. And I thought today, in Matt's home county of Kilkenny, there was a wonderful indication of what real romance was in many ways. When people who came together in a local parish after a sad bereavement to come together and unite in victory. And that is, after all, what we all aim for, to take the dance, to dance it through and make it to the finish. I would also like to say, and he asked us what's the most romantic thing we ever did with our wives. Is there anything more romantic as a farmer with your spouse on a beautiful, soft, shitty March day, advising your nearest and dearest to take the black one out of the herd of 100 black and white Frisian cows. And our brief inquiry is to know which blank F1 are we talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, it is no doubt that our future of romance is alive and well. And I see here before me tonight the product of the greater generations to come. I thank you dearly for your presence, and I hope you will join us in opposing the chairperson.
And the final speaker for the proposition, Michael Gowing.
Ladies and gentlemen, Madam Chairperson, members of our deluded, misguided opposition, they have called into question my romantic stance. These murdered gentlemen over here.
We never said a word about it.
Listen to TJ, he's your own teammate. They have said that I was a great romantic and I brought my beloved wife up to Tipperary. Unfortunately for TJ, or luckily for me, I'm not in Tipperary, but awfully. Now, I think to dispel this rumour, there's only one thing to do. James alluded to the fact... Okay, I'll sit down with you. James alluded to the fact... No, thank you. James alluded to the fact that he was going to mention his proposal, who was slightly afraid of it. And that's what you refer to as the 3-year scare tactic. The wife still controls. I'm slightly longer married, so to dispel this romantic nature that I have, and seen as what they think is romantic, I'm going to talk about my wedding proposal. It's as near as I have come to being romantic. I have now...
The chairperson objects to that.
Because she's right-handed and the left-hand side is safer.
I have the mic on the right.
One lovely March day, similar to TJ, we went for a walk, a lovely stroll, with a purchase in mind. Nothing too misplay at the moment. What did we do then?
For once in your life, listen to her.
What did we do then?
You bought a farm.
Close! I brought her for a romantic walk to the local co-op store to buy a ring feeder, which I duly pushed home because it was too cheap to bring the tractor and trailer with me. Wasn't so bad, she helped me all the way. And when I fell at one stage, I was almost on knee, but more sprawled on the ground, at which stage I asked her, would she like to lie with my people also? So ladies and gentlemen, if they said that is romance, and that he is still in Ireland, we're well and truly done for. Ladies and gentlemen, the poem was wrote in 1913. It was referring to a different time, a time when romance is gone. We have dealt with culture, we have dealt with poetry, but what about socially? The romantic image of a fireplace and the couple sitting in at it.
Mr. Gowing, resume your seat, please.
Modern times dictate that we're no longer even going to have that.
We're just going to sit down now and behave yourself.
The chimney is gone. Join with the members of the proposition in proposing the motion. Thank you.
And finally, for the opposition, the very shy, tongue-tied sometimes, Mr. Maher.
Ladies and gentlemen, one person that can't be with us tonight because he has departed, a former president of Macra Rally, the late great Jagoe. And when things got tough, a great saying of Joe's was, the gloves have to come off. Well, the gloves are off now, Madam Chairperson. I expect you to maintain your impartiality because I know the truth. What was it that threw them together in the great embrace of life, Michael and Catherine? Was it the size of his part? The size of his
It's the more frontage.
in the size of his
Tractor!
tractor. I don't think so. Perhaps the size of his equipment. Or the ring feeder. I know the truth of it. It was love and romance. And if that was wheeling that round feeder down the road, then that's romance too. Now I'm a bit soft on the knee because I'm like the census figures. I'm broken down by age, sex, and religion. Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. But speaking of sex, do you know that the Irish population has the highest birth rate, not only in Europe but in the Western world today? Now, if that's not love and romance put to some useful purpose, then I would concede the motion, but I will not have it because of the truth. The reality, Madam Chairperson, is that romance and romantic Ireland are alive and here tonight. Where, I may ask you, did the appropriately named Pluto Jagoe get his rather discreet poetry from? He read the poem from 1913. It's all with O'Leary and the bread. He forgot that WB changed his mind in 1916 and said, all changed utterly. A terrible beauty is born. We have to use the entire figure if we're going to use any of them. Love Island has come up time and again on both sides. It's great to see the one argument being used to contradictory purpose. Sure, it's not Love Island. We're all in love with Love Island. It's Love Ireland. I'm telling you, we're acting it out. Oh yes, and Love Island, of course. You know, I have to admit a certain amount of envy. Looking at the women mainly, because that'd be my forte, but looking at the men, so they clearly turn your head, they have muscles and faces where I haven't even got places. The second speaker for the opposition, James, has a heavy heart. Well, men never have a broken heart. And Marie will look after that. And then he mentioned his wedding proposal. Do you know, it all sounds very, very, very romantic altogether. Listen, no matter what way you go about it, lads, as long as it produces the goods, that's all you need to worry about. One proposal is as
So you
good as
accept
another.
romance is gone?
The third speaker for the opposition
Yes, ma'am.
did try hard and long to intimidate me, and it didn't work. Because I know from long experience
Take this, young people.
that the wish
Sit down.
that the wish of a leishman, well, half of it anyway, is of little purpose when you're proposing that motion. Ladies and gentlemen, support me. Romantic Ireland is alive and here tonight. Enjoy the weekend.
Also, ladies and gentlemen, hope you've been paying attention, because this is now where it's all in your hands. Who we think deserves to be the winner of tonight's motion. So the adjudicators of this fine audience result is going to be the ever-present Jerry Murphy. Having a reliable authority, he's got his scrutineer's hat on. Held by the elder statesmen of Macra, Hugh Ryan and Sean Eustace. And Dennis Duggan is standing there at the back to help you evacuate should you call the wrong decision.
Sorry, you got the cash, didn't you?
So ladies and gentlemen, if you think that the proposition did a wonderful job this evening and in reduced time, not really went well over. In proposing the motion that romantic Ireland is dead and gone, please show your appreciation and the result in their direction. So for those who believe that the proposition won tonight, you can give them a round of applause or any noise you deem suitable. If, however, you think that the opposition were more successful in proving their argument, please show their appreciation. I'll safely say that the opposition won tonight. Debate. Ladies and gentlemen, on my own behalf and on behalf of these 6 gentlemen, we'd like to extend our gracious thanks to the Rally Committee for extending the opportunity to partake in this 75th anniversary celebration, and we hope you have a marvellous night. And now I'm going to hand over to your MC for this evening, Avondhu Macra Rally.
Thank you very much. I think after that you'll all be very grateful to hear that I'm going to be only emceeing and not speaking tonight. For 2 reasons. And one, because someone asked me why was I not standing up here. There's 2 very simple reasons. One, I have the experience as a president of all of the incredible people who are up here and in the room. And also I may have the experience in romantic matters as much as any of them. On that, I'm going to move on. I'm going to introduce our first speaker tonight, Marie, on behalf of the Rally Committee. And I think before she stands up, I think I want to see everyone give a massive cheer for the Rally Committee, all the work that they've done here today. Absolutely amazing. And one last round of applause for everybody, as Marie is hopping up, everybody who was part of the great debate tonight. Oh, okay, we'll move the table.